Welcome back to the Diamond Cake Show, of course, on firetelevision.com. And I hope that everybody had a great holiday weekend. Wow. I mean, and the time went by quick, though. It always does, but it really went by quick this holiday. Of course, on firetelevision.com, your man Diamond K in here. So we got a lot of things to talk about, and I got a list. I got a list of things that I want to get off my chest, get to here. Of course, like and subscribe for our content. New videos drop every day on firetelevision.com. Of course, on social media, I am at the Diamond K Show. So, of course, we're going to talk COVID-19 and this variant that has been just everywhere. Everywhere across this country, it seems like we have these numbers, these high numbers of COVID-19. And so this variant, this Omicron variant, has disrupted holiday travel. Not shopping, though. Shopping has still been at an all-time high. But we have a new COVID-19 variant, Omicron, the latest variant, which is causing havoc for holiday plans for tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people. Airports, they're saying, here's the thing about COVID-19 with regards to the airports. They say that the planes are the safe place. The airports, inside the airports, you are at more risk of getting COVID-19. So anyway, the new variant, the Omicron variant, did not do much damage to holiday shopping. Now, airlines canceled hundreds of flights on Sunday. They say that it was staffing problems tied to COVID-19, different staff members getting the virus, and didn't have people to work the planes. So the nation's travel woes extended beyond Christmas because you got these people, these employees of the airlines that can't come to work because they are sick. And there is no indication when normal schedules are going to resume. So you've been flying somewhere, or you were supposed to fly somewhere, you could have been affected by all of these cancellations. And it really started early, before Christmas. Just like right around that week of. So hundreds of flights being canceled. And shoppers, interestingly, shrugged off the Omicron variant. They were like, look, we're going to go out and get our presents. Forget what you heard. So holiday sales rose as, our people reporting are saying that the fastest pace in 17 years. Various measures have led to this. So Omicron is likely going to slow down this economic recovery that we have been trying to go on. Lockdown really put things in a bad space. So we were on the way to recovering, and then boom, cold and flu season comes. Omicron has variants, and this one more contagious, seemingly less fatal, because we're not having the fatalities that we used to have. Not having those fatalities, but still, this is not the Christmas that you wanted. Better probably than last year, maybe. We're not on lockdown, and it does not appear that we're going to go back to that. But the variant, could add more heat to this already simmering inflation and the whole mess, the whole debate that's going on. So kids in schools, a lot of schools are returning to remote learning. You thought this was a thing of the past. You thought we were done with this. It appears that several major universities, like, slow down, we're going back to remote learning, at least for a while, online and all the such. Now, when you're in college, not that much of a big deal. I mean, some people really need the in-person instruction. But I think for college students, this online learning thing is not as bad. It's not as difficult. Now, when you start talking about the younger ones, that can be tricky. Right? Tricky because, one, they need some more help. They need the parents to help. Parents don't want to help. Parents got to go to work, the ones that are working. So in Baltimore, they are extending the holiday season because of the latest surge in COVID-19 cases. The governor of Maryland has COVID-19. A lot of other folks, several senators having that. But a full reopening of the U.S. economy will be delayed yet again. And why? Because of this new COVID-19 variant, Omicron. So for now, the variant is just wreaking havoc on travel. So 1,100 flights entering, leaving, or flying within the U.S. were called off, according to website flightaware.com. That figure was up from nearly 1,000 on Saturday, and about 130 flights were already canceled for Monday. Delta, United, JetBlue, and American have, of course, blamed Omicron for staff shortages that forced these cancellations. Omicron. They're saying that this was unexpected. Nobody knew this was going to happen. JetBlue scrapped 11% of their flights on Sunday. 11%. Delta and United have both canceled 5%. Now, 3 airlines canceled more than 10% of their scheduled flights on Saturday. So, you have folks waiting for hours to try to figure out what else they're going to do. People worried about getting sick. They're in the airport. It's all kinds of stuff. You definitely need to download the app, the apps for your airline, so you can keep up with what is going on. Some people don't think that they have much to worry about. Others do. I don't plan on flying anytime soon. But for those of you that are, you definitely got to pay attention to this. Now, maybe this is going to pass after the variant does what it's going to do, and this current wave of folks that are sick get better. But maybe they're going to infect other people. Who knows? This thing is up in the air. Up in the air. I'm hoping that things will improve when we get into January, top of the year. But, that doesn't help us today. That doesn't help us tomorrow. But January just around the corner, literally just around the corner. Of course, just tuning in. You made Diamond K, of course, in here. The Diamond K Show on firetelevision.com. We are talking about the Omicron variant and the havoc that it is thrusting upon holiday travel, not shopping. We're going to talk after the break about some shopping trends that are going on right now. Of course, you want to support the Diamond K Show and this digital network. Head on over to onfiretelevision.com, grab a t-shirt with some other merch. You can become a sponsor of the Diamond K Show for as low as $50. On Fire Television is an advertiser-supported audio and video network. Get breaking news, podcasts, and TV shows covering topics that are important to the culture. OnFireTelevision.com is where you go to discover, engage, and connect with the latest news, podcasts, and, of course, our original TV programs. To do this, take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more of the Diamond K Show after this. Welcome back. You made Diamond K. Of course, the Diamond K Show. Hit me up on all social media at the Diamond K Show. So we're talking Omicron variant and the havoc that it has caused on travel. But holiday sales rose at the fastest pace in 17 years. So it didn't stop people that prices are higher. Didn't stop people with regards to product shortages and a raging new COVID-19 variant. That didn't stop people. These last few weeks of shopping, we have been dealing with this Omicron variant. MasterCard Spending Pulse, which tracks all types of shopping and payments, including cash, debit cards, reported on Sunday that holiday sales had risen 8.5% from just a year ago. MasterCard Spending Pulse had expected an 8.8% increase. The results, which covered November 1st to Christmas Eve, were fueled by purchases of jewelry, clothing, stuff like that. Holiday sales were up over 10% compared with the pre-pandemic 2019 holiday period. So you can't really judge by last year. Of course, we had lockdowns. We had a relatively new virus we were dealing with. So when you look at those 2019 numbers, by category, clothing rose 47%, jewelry 32%, electronics 16%, online sales up 11% from just a year ago, 61% from 2019. Department stores even had an increase of 21% over last year. 21%. I thought that the department stores were going to get hit really hard as far as low numbers. Not the case. Not the case. Some consumers stayed home and did their shopping online, but sales, of course, stayed strong. So I feel good with how the season played out. If these are the type of numbers that we are seeing, even with the Omicron variant. So if we didn't have this Omicron variant going around towards the end of this holiday season, numbers would have been even higher. So people feel a little uncomfortable. And when that happens, you're going to see online shopping increase. But as they get, more comfortable, that's going to shift yet again. So we're going to be able to see a broader picture next month. So next month, the National Retail Federation, the nation's largest retail trade group, will come out with its combined 2-month results the middle of January. So we'll be able to get a good picture then. These results will be based on analysis from November and December sales figures from the Commerce Department. So these analysts are going to be dissecting these fourth quarter numbers, checking out these financial results from all types of retailers, and that's slated to come. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing that, so we can really get an idea of what these numbers are, whether folks are still going in the stores or whether they're shopping online. We're going to have to deal with this COVID-19 variant. So when we talk about this COVID-19 variant, when we talk about shopping, talk about the experience, the travel experience being just thrown into disarray. What is solution? What is some solutions that we're going to be facing? I mean, this is a shot in an airport, and folks are obviously wearing their masks, but folks are not happy. Folks are not happy. And in order to get things back somewhat, they're not going to go back to the way they were before the pandemic, but to get things better in hand, there has been a lot of medical, I don't know, leaps. And this COVID-19 pill is one of them. Now, the COVID-19 pill does come with a catch. It does. So newly infected COVID-19 patients have 2 treatment options that can be taken at home. 2. Now, I'm gonna say this again. The convenience comes with a catch. And you may say, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean the convenience comes with a catch? So the pills have to be taken as soon as possible once symptoms appear. Now, you can't just get this without a prescription. So the challenge is going to be getting tested, getting this prescription and starting the pills in this small window. So U.S. regulators authorized Pfizer's pill and Merck's pill last week. Now, in high-risk patients, both were shown to reduce chances of hospitalization or death from COVID-19. Now, of these 2 options, Pfizer's was deemed more effective. Pfizer's. So, who should take these pills? Who should take these pills? These antiviral pills aren't for everybody who gets a positive test. So that's why I'm saying that there's a catch here. Like you kind of got to look at this. You may see, oh, there's a pill coming, but this is not for everybody. This form of medicine for COVID-19 is intended for those with mild or moderate COVID-19 who are more likely to become seriously ill. Because the purpose of these pills is to stop that serious illness or try to curb it. So older patients, those with other health conditions like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, these conditions make them more vulnerable. And this is who they are, really have in mind for these antiviral pills. Now, both pills were okayed for adults, and the Paxlovid, which is Pfizer's, is authorized for children 12 and older. So Merck's is not authorized for children because it might interfere with bone growth. Yeah, that's something that's scary. Now, it also is not something that they want pregnant women to take because of potential for birth defects. This is the Merck option. So Pfizer's pill isn't recommended for patients with severe kidney or liver problems. It also may not be the best option for someone because it may interact with other prescriptions that a patient is taking. These antiviral pills aren't authorized for people hospitalized with COVID-19. So that's why I said that there's a lot to it, right? There's a whole bunch of don't do this, don't do that, can't do this, can't do that. What about this? What about that? This pill is not for everybody. So I don't want people thinking like they got a pill and this is going to knock everything out. Not the case. Not the case. So there's a window for treatment. There's a window. Now, the pills have to be started as soon as possible, within 5 days of the start of symptoms. 5 days. Now, cough, headache, fever, loss of taste or smell, and muscle and body aches are among the more common signs. More common signs. Of course, go to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website to check out your symptoms. I named some of those common ones. Like I said, cough, headache, fever, loss of taste, smell, muscle, and body aches. These are all common COVID-19 symptoms. So you may wonder, where can you get these pills from? Where can you get this COVID-19 antiviral pill? You will need a prescription first from a doctor or another authorized health worker. The government is buying the pills from Merck and Pfizer, and they're going to be providing them for free, but supplies are going to be limited off the break, right? Everybody ain't getting this off the bat. They're going to be shipped to states where they will be available in drugstores, community health centers, and other places. And if you're also wondering, the treatment is for 5 days. So this is a 5-day treatment. Some physicians may be able to administer a quick COVID-19 test, prescribe the pills all in one visit, sometimes. Now, they already do this in many states for the flu or strep throat, but this is a little bit different. So, will the pills work for the Omicron variant? Great question, because that's what we're dealing with right now. These pills are expected to be effective. Expected to be effective. We don't know. They don't target the spike protein, where most of the variants, trouble of the mutation resides. The two pills work in different ways, and so they're slightly different in preventing the virus from reproducing. And that's what you want to do. You want to stop the virus's reproduction. Now, are there other options for new COVID-19 patients? Yes. Yes, there are. There are some, but they aren't as easy to use as a pill. So we're talking about an IV or an injection. Now, this is something that's done at a hospital or a clinic. 3 drugs provide virus-fighting antibodies. Now, laboratory testing suggests that the 2 aren't effective against Omicron. The 2 are not effective against Omicron, right? So that's the IV or the injection. So there is an antibody drug that the British drug maker is working on, but they're trying to increase some U.S. supply. So don't count on that right now. And now the only antiviral drug approved in the U.S. is remdesivir, and that is for people hospitalized with COVID-19. Other than that, that's all that has been approved thus far. So this has been an ongoing thing, battling COVID-19. Some scientists and some doctors think that we're going to be dealing with this till 2024. And that makes sense. I mean, it's cycling through the population, and we're not seeing the fatalities that we have seen in the past. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing. And of course, they are talking about booster shots, and I think that soon they're going to change what fully vaccinated means. Right now, that means 2 shots for the most part, unless you got the Johnson & Johnson shot. But for the most part, that means 2 shots. And the way that they're rolling things out, it seems like fully vaccinated is getting ready to turn to 3 shots. Who knows? I'm talking about 2024. By that time, it could be 7 shots. I mean, it could be. We don't know. So of course, this is the John McKay Show on Fire Television, onfiretelevision.com. And On Fire Television is a advertiser-supported audio and video network. You get breaking news, podcasts, TV shows covering topics that are important to our culture. OnFireTelevision.com is where you go to discover, engage, and connect with the latest news, podcast, and of course, our original TV programs. The John McKay Show is brought to you in part by JStoverBeauty.com. I want to talk directly to my ladies out there. If you are looking for those must-have beauty products, look no further than JStoverBeauty.com. They have quality wigs, Indian hair extensions, virgin hair extensions, professional hair care products like edge control, flat iron mist, mink eyelashes, satin wig bags, wax sticks, lace concealer, lace tint, and so much more. JStoverBeauty.com also does custom wig making, maintenance, and revamp services. You can check them out on social media at JStoverBeauty on Instagram, JStoverBeauty LLC on Facebook. So, you man John McKay in here. We're going to do this, take a quick break, come back with more of the show after this. We are back here on the John McKay Show, and South African icon is an icon. Bishop Desmond Tutu died on Sunday, 90 years old. 90 years old. So this South African Nobel Peace Prize winning icon. So he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was uncompromising in his fight against apartheid. And he was a modern day activist for racial justice, LGBT rights. South Africans, world leaders, and people around the globe mourned the death of this man who was viewed as the country, South Africa's, moral conscience. The bishop worked tirelessly, passionately, and nonviolently to tear down apartheid. You remember apartheid, right? This was South Africa's brutal, decades-long regime of oppression against its Black majority. And here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy about that. It only ended in 1994. 1994. I remember this clearly. So definitely want to say rest in peace to this icon, Bishop Desmond Tutu. So a lot of things that he accomplished during his 90 years. Used his pulpit as the first Black bishop of Johannesburg and later as the Anglican Archbishop of Cape Town, as well as the frequent public demonstrations to galvanize public opinion against racial inequality in South Africa and around the world. So he did his thing, lived a long life, 1931 to 2021. The bishop died peacefully at Oasis Frail Care Center in Cape Town, South Africa. He had been hospitalized several times since 2015 after being diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1997. So, great man. You're going to hear a lot of great things about him that maybe you didn't know. In recent years, he and his wife, Lay, lived in a retirement community outside of Cape Town. So, his life was entirely dedicated to serving his brothers and sisters for the greater common good. I mean, I don't know anybody has anything bad to say about Bishop Desmond Tutu. I don't know. I don't know. Once, when he was asked how he wanted to be remembered, he told the Associated Press he loved, he laughed, he cried, he was forgiven, he forgave, and was greatly privileged. So we got to say rest in peace to the late, great Bishop Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show on firetelevision.com. And, another thing that happened just before Christmas, there was a Baltimore police officer who was ambushed, shot, female police officer in Baltimore. And her name was Kiana Holly. She was removed from life support on Thursday. She was shot the week before. And so she's in her patrol car on Pennington Avenue in Curtis Bay. It's an area of Baltimore. So she's ambushed, she's shot, she's rushed with life-threatening injuries to the hospital. A mother of four, working overtime, joined the police force not that long ago, 2019. So two men were arrested the next day after the police recovered a vehicle of interest based on surveillance video. They are being held without bail. And the community has really responded, the community in Baltimore, about this slain police officer. So the suspects, Elliot Knox, 31, Trayvon Shaw, 32, also face murder charges in the death of Justin Johnson, a 38-year-old man who was shot and killed hours after Holly was shot. So social media and television and national, local and national, really jumped on this story as word spread of her death. So too did the reactions from the community, leadership, police officers, folks on social media, offering their condolences to the family, the friends, and the colleagues. One of her neighbors said that she was way more than a police officer. She was a friend. She was family. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt because that's an officer, someone who protected and served our city, a resident said. Our hearts are broken over the devastating loss of one of our true heroes. Please keep Officer Holly's family in your prayers, as well as her brothers and sisters in the Baltimore Police Department. and all those who put their lives on the line every day to keep the rest of us safe, Governor Larry Hogan said. And the mayor of Baltimore, Mayor Brandon Scott, offered his deepest condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of Officer Kiana Holly, a devoted public servant who worked selfless. My God, what is going on with me? Selflessly to protect our community. What was that about? Baltimore will never forget Officer Holly's sacrifice and commitment to making a difference in our beloved city. So that was the mayor and the governor, and they rarely agree on anything. The police commissioner, Michael Harrison, said that he offered his prayers and said that the family and loved ones, co-workers, and entire community wanted to thank her and the entire Baltimore Police Department for their commitment, work, and sacrifice. We mourn Officer Holly's death together, and we will heal together. So, it's really a sad story. We don't know the motive. We don't know a lot. Senseless situation there. Now, we're going to do this. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about VP Kamala Harris. She recently did an interview with Face the Nation on CBS. She talked about her frustration with Charlamagne the God. She talked about fighting for the integrity of our democracy. And we are going to talk about this. We'll come back. Don McKay Show on Fire Television. Now, everybody knows who this is, right? Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, some of you may have not seen her for a while. Maybe you thought she was laying low. But she did a wide-ranging interview with, Face the Nation. And I thought it was a good interview. Margaret Brennan is a good interviewer, and she's somebody that knows how to kind of push and kind of pick until you answer the question that, or don't answer the question that she has. But the vice president sat down, talked with her and Margaret Brennan, and I thought she did a decent job. Miss VP Harris can go off the rails sometimes, and I think that she has been keeping a low profile on purpose. But Vice President Harris talked about the need for the Senate to pass voting rights legislation, which is true. Now, she would not say whether the filibuster should be bypassed or she didn't really speak on the criticism directed at her. She's quirky. She's quirky. And I think that at times that works to her advantage, and at times it works to her disadvantage. I didn't think that this was a bad interview. I did not think this was a bad interview. So she said this. We're talking about the debacle that was the withdrawal from Afghanistan that happened in August. She said that, I think it's really important to remember that the previous administration negotiated a deal with the Taliban, did not invite the Afghan government to the table, and negotiated a deal that required and promised as part of an agreement that we would pull out by the end of May. So this is what she said. And I said this. I said the interview was wide-ranging. There was a lot of things that they talked about. So she talked about the need for the Senate to pass the voters' right. She blamed the Trump administration for signing this deal, this deal with the Taliban. She did not take any responsibility for the withdrawal. No, I mean, it wasn't her fault. People on the right are going to say, she's blaming Trump for, or Biden's blaming Trump. Here's the thing. Democrats have got to get tougher. They got to. Trump made an agreement, so we got to get out by May. It wasn't May. It wasn't May when you left. It was August, right? So Trump's crew signing the deal. Okay, they signed the deal. You did not have to abide by the terms of the deal. You could have done things in an orderly fashion, right? I mean, let's look at Trump. Trump pulled out of deals that Obama or Obama's team signed. He didn't say, oh, Obama signed this deal, so even though I don't want to, I'm going to abide by it. No. He said, I don't like that deal. I'm pulling out the nuclear deal. I'm pulling out the climate accord, right? Because he didn't like it. He didn't feel obligated to do it because the previous administration had agreed to something. And Biden and his team do not have to sit and go with things that they don't agree with and then turn around and say, well, the previous administration did it and America's got to be held at our word. And then when it screws up, then you want to try to blame them. No, you can't have it both ways. Both things in this instance can't be true at the same time. If you go forth and do it, then that means that you agree with it. Because as a president, he didn't have to do it because Trump is saying that his stuff is privilege, and Biden saying, no, that's not privilege. So you can't pick and choose when you go with what he says, the previous guy, and then when you don't. So if you decide to pull out of Afghanistan in August the way that you did, then you got to stick with it. It should have been more orderly, and he did sign an agreement saying he was going to pull out. But that did not mean that y'all had to have a chaotic withdrawal. Anyway, VP Harris said in this interview with CBS, Margaret Brennan, that she fully supported President Biden's decision to end the nation's 20-year war with Afghanistan by removing the troops. Now, is it Biden's decision or was it Trump's decision? Which one is it? She's flip-flopping. Now, I like Kamala Harris. I do. But she opens herself up to this kind of criticism. And, criticism from the right. I'm not really giving her heavy criticism. Folks, I'm not her enemy, right? But folks that are really against her, she gives them ammunition by the way she handles things. So she was talking about the frustration that she felt when radio host Charlamagne the God said in an interview earlier this month, or he asked her, who was the real president? Like, was Joe Manchin the real president, or was Joe Biden the real president? And obviously, we understand what he means by that, right? But in true fashion, she missed the point and did not address what he was really referring to. So the interaction was tense. And I think the last time that she was on the Breakfast Club, she got caught with some lies about Tupac and Snoop and what song she was listening to when she was in college, and then those artists weren't out yet, or something like that, right? So last time he asked her a hip hop question, and she kind of got twisted up. So she did come in seemingly with a chip on her shoulder anyway. So he asked her a question about who is the real president. Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden? Of course, who the president is, right? And so, he's the president and I'm the vice president. My name is Kamala Harris. Da 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 da. We get all that. But the reason that he asked that question is because it feels like Joe Manchin is controlling the narrative. So she didn't really want to get in the weeds with that. She wanted to play with semantics. And this wasn't actually on the Breakfast Club. The previous interview, when she was talking about the song she was listening to when she was running, that was on the Breakfast Club. This interview that I'm talking about is something that was on Charlamagne's show, The God Honest Truth, which is on Comedy Central. So he asked her, who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden? So she gets frustrated. She gets mad. Come on, Charlamagne. She responds, no, 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 no. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican asking whether or not he's president. It's Joe Biden, and I'm the vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris. So what she confused there, or maybe she did it on purpose, he wasn't saying that Biden didn't win the election. He wasn't saying that Trump's really the president. That's not what he was saying. That's not what he's saying. And most Republicans are siding with Manchin and not trying to say that Manchin is the president. So the VP was, I don't know, a little fired up about that. Of course, Joe Manchin is I think he's a Republican, but we'll call him a centrist Democrat. So right in the middle. He's right on the line. Sometimes he's a little bit, on the right side. Sometimes he's on the left side. He's from West Virginia. He's a former governor, of West Virginia. And he has really been an obstacle, an obstacle to key portions of Biden's agenda. So when Charlamagne asked that question, I think it was a fair question. It was. I think it was a fair question. If you remember earlier this month on Fox News, Joe Manchin announced that he was not going to support the current version of Biden's Build Back Better legislation. So this is the cornerstone of his agenda. And for, reasons that West Virginia is really a Republican place, really a conservative place as far as who they support, I suppose, he feels the need, Joe Manchin, to act as a Republican, right? What they call Manchin is a Democrat in name only. Dino. He said Dino. But he said that if I can't go home and explain to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it, he said. Well, you're a former governor and you're part of Congress. You can explain it. You just don't want to because of your donors and the people that you are truly aligned with, who are the Republicans. So he makes up this whole thing. I can't explain it. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But that's what he does. So Harris, in this interview, she said that she was frustrated with Charlamagne and, said that people watching the earlier interview saw Harris's anger. She was angry. She didn't address the source of the question. I guess she was too mad to address it. So when asked by the CBS host what gets her fired up these days, VP Harris said injustice. Injustice is generally what will get me. I don't like unfairness. I respect that. I do. I respect that. So it's a good interview, and it's about the full. They didn't show the full interview on the show, but I did watch the full interview. Full interview is about 30 minutes long, and so she's frustrated why he asked that question. Frustrated. Interesting. Very interesting. What are your thoughts? I mean, is Kamala Harris going to run for president one day again? I like Kamala Harris. I don't think that this has been an easy first year for her or for Joe Biden. Nor did I hope they didn't expect it to be an easy year. Coming out of a pandemic, coming out of lockdowns, a recession, a tough election, difficulty between each other. I know that they didn't think it was going to be an easy year, but man, Kamala Harris has caught fire from all ways. Caught fire from all ways. She is, initially, I think that people thought that she was going to be the next person to run after Joe Biden. Now, the reports are that Joe Biden is going to run for president in 2024. I think he said at times, assuming that he's as healthy as he is now. If he's as healthy as he is now, he's going to run for president. And that's what they got to say right now. I mean, he's 1 year in. He's 1 year in. And he's the oldest president that we've had. And he's 1 year in. So they can't start talking about he's not going to run, because you think they're not taking him serious now. They really would not be taking him serious if he starts talking about the fact that he is one and done. Now, Trump was one and done too. But he can't say that even if he's not going to run. And here's the other thing. Kamala Harris, as much as I love the fact that she is the first female vice president, first woman of color in this job, I support her. And I love that. But at the same time, she's not in the strongest position. So they don't want to put the party behind her. You take Joe Biden off the playing field, and I think that this thing becomes a free-for-all. I don't think that everybody gets behind Kamala Harris. I don't. Not right now. I think, honestly, and this may be sad, but I think that Hillary Clinton is in a stronger position in the Democratic Party than Kamala Harris is right now. That's how tough this year has been, and Hillary Clinton lost to Trump in 2016, and I still think she's in a stronger position than VP Harris. This can't be the next person running for president. I mean, maybe things can turn around. Maybe they can put her in a stronger position. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, On Fire Television is an interactive streaming channel dedicated to people of color, whether it's news, movies, documentaries, music, or podcasts. On Fire Television celebrates the culture. Start streaming today at onfiretelevision.com. Now, I'll be back here tomorrow, of course. And you want to support the Diamond K Show and this digital network, head on over to onfiretelevision.com, grab a t-shirt or some other merch. You can become a sponsor of the Diamond K Show for as little as $50. I am able to deliver our news and our views on this program because of our listeners, sponsors, and of course, you. We are powered by the people, and we appreciate your support. Diamond K Show, sponsored by Flyers on Fire. If you need to create a flyer, you can have one designed, quality digital flyer in 24 hours. If you're promoting something on social media, you need a flyer. Flyers on Fire can help brand your message with a quality digital flyer. Visit them on Instagram at Flyers on Fire. Now, the Diamond K Show is an On Fire television production. You can get the program on demand at the WRF Radio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and of course, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. Take a moment, download the WRF Radio app in your app store, leave me a comment, scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, do some online shopping, all while listening to the Diamond K Show. Now, every day I deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from Baltimore, Atlanta, and Dallas. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I also got to expose what is really going on in this country. I give you the American story from an independent perspective. In addition to the top news stories of the day, we check social media and want to talk about the latest topics on your mind. Join me weekdays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. for the Diamond K Show on firetelevision.com. I'll be back here tomorrow, and we have some announcements coming up and some additions that we're going to be making to the On Fire Television brand, and I'm excited to talk about those things. So you're going to hear about that in the days to come. Couple more days left, and 2021 is a wrap. My goodness, this has been an interesting year. It's been an interesting year. Next year is going to be even better. See you guys.